This is Sarah, and this is Sammy, and I am Sarah, the CEO, and today I am here to give you some tax tips for small businesses, small e-commerce businesses, and influencers. So I'm an accountant in northern Minnesota, and I have several entrepreneurial journeys that I use, and I focus on tax and accounting for small businesses, personal finance, and lots of other things that deal with money. So today I've had a few clients, new clients this year, that are just setting up some basic business accounts, and we're kind of doing things completely inappropriate from the IRS standpoint. So I thought I'd just jump on here and give you 5 easy tax tips for e-commerce and influencers, e-commerce entrepreneurs and influencers that are just learning to get started on their business. So my number one thing to prove that you are a business to the IRS and be able to take the tax deductions, keep a separate bank account, a business bank account. In order to do that, you will need a tax ID or a federal ID number. It's really easy to pop on the IRS website and complete an application for a taxpayer identification number. It's also helpful if you register your business as an LLC so that you have some protection barrier if something goes wrong, so they can't sue you for negligence within your business. So you've got some shielding between your personal assets and your business assets. So that is my number one thing for a tax tip, is you really need to have a separate account at the bank. And I even use a separate bank. I don't even use my same personal fund bank. I use a separate bank with a link to Vanguard. It's where I put in my IRA money through Vanguard, through my SEP deduction. And I've used a savings account at Vanguard for excess funds, which I earn 5%. And it's completely separate from my personal accounts. That is a huge red flag for the IRS if you start mixing business and personal funds. So that is my number one tip. My number 2 tip is you have to have some business income to prove to the IRS that what you're doing for your business or your influencing business is not just a hobby. Very, very, very important. Even if you have a separate bank account, if you don't have business income, you will not, you might be able to deduct business starting expenses for the first year, but you're going to have a red audit flag if you do not have business income within that first or second year that you are working on this. Now, I do have a channel that I had just started this year. And so far that one is not monetized on YouTube. So I've been considering that as just a hobby at this time until I actually get monetized on YouTube and have business income. My number 3 advice is to use a spreadsheet or QuickBooks to keep track of all expenses. Now, QuickBooks does cost $30. I feel like I'm off a little bit. I have my other lab on the side here. QuickBooks does cost at a minimum $30 a month. So, $30 is $30 to a lot of people. It is a tax deductible expense if you have business income, but to do it free, you can do it on a spreadsheet to keep track. Make sure you keep all of your receipts. The one nice thing about QuickBooks, you can scan the receipts in. I do use QuickBooks for my business, but I have 5 or 6 different businesses, and it's too hard to keep track of if I don't use an actual software program. So for me, I just use the free $30 one, or not free, it's not free, sorry, the $30 one. But if you're just beginning, keep track of it on a piece of paper or a spreadsheet, but make sure you keep all of your receipts. My 4th tip is to keep track of all your mileage. This is a really big overlooked tax deduction at tax time. My e-commerce business that I ran out of our garage, we had USPS would pick up, but I had to run to UPS a lot, and I had to run to the cardboard recycling a lot. So we kept track of our mileage in a separate book because you can write off that mileage at the end of the year. I also wrote off a couple of supply trips when I needed to go pick up supplies. Even if I did other errands in another town 2.5 hours away, I still was able to write off the mileage because I specifically went there for that particular reason. So that was my number 4 tip. Keep track of your mileage. And number 5, this is a huge one. You might not be able to do this right away, but pay all of your business expenses separately with a business credit card. Do not mix your personal and your business expenses. We have actually have 2 separate credit cards that I put all of our business expenses on. Even if you don't have business expense right now, or business income to pay that expense and you have to pay it out of personal funds, at least you have all of your charges or expenses for that particular business on one particular credit card. And you're earning points. Make sure you pay it off because, I'm a finance person and I want you to make sure you pay off your credit card. But you need to really have a separate business credit card. We have one that doesn't charge us an annual fee. We get points on it. Those points end up paying enough for like one of our family vacations in a year, and actually points are not taxable income. That's another tip too. So you want to pay business expenses separately with a separate credit card. So those are my 5 tax tips that are easy ones for brand new e-commerce and brand new influencer accounts. Influencing is a brand new business for the IRS. They don't have any really specific rules, but you have to really be careful that you are actually, whatever you're influencing or doing, that you're actually having business income that can cover the costs of the items that you're trying to sell to other people. And on that note, influencers, you need to make sure you are using a business credit card too. And that's all for now.